Hello friends and welcome back. Today we are going to be taking another look at the modernized flour mill. It is a little bit of a complicated mod, so don't feel bad if you're having any sort of issues with it. Now, everything gets dumped in the same spot over here. So right now we've got our corn and it's going to go right on our dump field over here. Let me turn my help window back on. And do I have some markers off? No. Oh, I don't have our trailer selected, that's why. So as soon as we get over into our zone here, it's going to prompt us to dump. And everything gets dumped in the same spot right over on this grate here. So let's just pull that out of the way here because we've got some corn in there that we'll be able to process down. Wood chips is one of the new fuel sources from that last update when I did my other video on this mod. And they're going to dump in that exact same spot right on that grate. And I'm going to make sure we have our trailer selected this time, and see it'll prompt us to dump as soon as we get to it. So we're going to throw some of those in and we'll pull away. Then I also have water and diesel over here. So let's bring our water tanker over first. And we will dump a bunch of water in. And then let's get our diesel tanker here. And we're going to dump some diesel in as well. Alright, so now we can go ahead and turn on a few of our productions here on it. So we're going to go right into our menu here. And this first row is diesel, so we're going to go ahead and turn on corn flour for diesel. And we're going to go ahead and turn on our cake with diesel as well from flour. And the biggest thing we're going to have to do is right here, instead of storing, we're going to want that to be set to distributing. If we have it on storing, it's going to kick out pallets of flour for us. And we don't want that because we want it to start turning the flour into the cake. And then it can kick out the pallets of cake. Same thing would work with the bread if you're doing it to make bread. And then as we scroll down here, we've got methane, which we don't have any methane in here yet. I'll show you that in a minute on how we're going to do that. Now we've got our water, so same thing, we'll turn on corn. And we'll turn on cake from flour. And as we scroll down, we've got milk in here. I didn't put any milk in, any eggs, anything like that. All of it's going to dump right into that same spot on that grate where it's got your little dump icon. Same with the wood. You're going to bring it right over to this spot. Now, I have not tested it to see if there's anything else you have to do. I'd assume you're just hitting that sell wood trigger. You should be just hitting that sell wood trigger. All right, so let's come back in here. And we are going to pass up our wood section. All right, we're at wood chips. I must have missed that before. And we'll turn on corn to flour, and we'll turn on flour to cake. And this would be if you're doing DEF, it'd be the exact same thing. You're going to drop that right into that same grate for any of the diesel exhaust fluid. All right, and that's going to be the bottom of that. So electric and methane we still need in here to show you for the fuel types, just simply because any of the rest of this stuff will go right into here. Methane, if you have another mod installed where you can transport methane, you should be able to dump it here as well. I haven't been able to test it. I tried to test it, and unfortunately it crashed the game for me because I was doing it from a buy station, and it seemed to not like taking in any of the methane from the buy station. I tried redoing it and it wouldn't even let me fill the trailer with methane the next time, so I'm assuming there's some sort of issue with trying to get the methane from the buy stations. But I'm not sure. It does funky things when it comes to methane and transporting it in here because it's not really a base game thing and it doesn't seem to like doing it all the time. But we don't need to transport it at all. So I'm going to show you 3 more mods here. This first one is going to be the Fuel Refinery by ZoddelZockt. So this one, it can produce methane. We're not really going to worry about it right now because it's a little bit on the slow side. But the best thing for this is you can just generate electricity that it will then transfer. So then if you come in here and on outgoing product, you set that to distributing. As soon as that starts actually doing it at the top of the hour, it'll send all of the methane over, or all the electric over to the other side. There are recipes in here that will create methane as well. It comes out kind of as a byproduct of creating the diesel. Now you can also select diesel to distribute and methane to distribute, and it'll send it all over there. So if we were to dump in a bunch of wood chips or anything else, it'll do it. It's just not very quick. So keep that in mind when you're doing this, is it really doesn't produce that much to send anywhere. So to go a little bit faster here, we've now got the mini biogas plant by Disturbed Simulations. It's smaller, it's cheaper, it works well. We're going to go ahead and turn on our silage there. You can do a little bit more than most standard biogas plants will do, including that you can process straw down as well. Now it's also going to create electric, methane, and digestate. So keep in mind you will be pumping out digestate too, but you can always just sell it off directly if you want to do it that way too. But if we set that to distribute, once we hit the top of the hour, it'll send everything over. And the last one here, if you really want to fill up the electric and methane fast, this is going to be your best bet. This is the Industrial BGA by Disturbed Simulations. And this thing processes a ton really quickly. You can see I've already got it running here, and you can just see how much it's counting up in that bottom corner as we're processing stuff through. So the only thing is, again, we're going to have to switch this to distributing. And we've got a ton going, and really this has only been going for a little while, and I've got the time turned down to 0.5 speed right now. So let's pop back over because we're just about at the top of the hour, just so that you can see that it does in fact transfer all of the methane and the electric back over to the flour mill. And the other thing we are going to do here is we are going to go ahead and speed up time just a little bit. Let's go to 10 times. That way we can turn over this hour real quick. So if you look right now, we've got all of our active productions, and you've got the building storage showing. So as soon as it flips to 11 here, you're going to see that it suddenly is going to have methane and electric in it as well. There you go. See, now we've got 161,000 liters of electric and 2,363 liters of methane. So now we can come in and we can turn on all of those electric and methane productions. Corn flour and cake. Nope, that's sugar. There we go. Cake. And then if we come down to methane, same thing. Cake is on and corn flour is on. Just keep in mind, if you don't change how it's set up with storing and distributing, it's going to start kicking out your pig feed and rocks and chaff as well. If you don't want that to come out in big bags like that, if you want it to get stored in here so you can take it out later, come in and set all of that to distributing it as well. And the neat thing too is if you run some sort of fermenting building, it should send your chaff there to get turned into silage, which can then get taken over to your biogas. So it kind of helps give you a really nice cycle of, if you dump in any sort of grain or the oats that you can turn into flour or soybeans, since you're producing chaff from all that, that'll all go back into your biogas plants, which will then get turned into fuel for this to run. And just so you know where to take everything out, especially now that we've got that set to storing, I'm going to empty this out real quick and I'll show you. It's right over on the other side. All right, so right over here, you've got this little pipe, and it can be a bit difficult, but as long as you're close to it right here at the back, it should pop up there for you to start filling. There are a few trailers that fit under here, but they're usually pretty small quantity. So unless you want to try maybe doing a conveyor belt of some sort, which I probably wouldn't bother with. I mean, all you got to do is back up right next to it. Just make sure you leave room on this side of your factory and you'll be all good. hit start filling, and it'll let you select which one of those you want. So I do usually leave those set to either distribute or sell. If you have a lime production facility, it'll send your stones over to that. Same with, like I said, if you've got a fermenting facility, it'll send your chaff over. And pig food, you're honestly best off selling it. I've looked at it before, and you make a lot of money by selling off the pig food versus the amount that you can actually make on pigs unless you're on easy. It seems like it doesn't really pay to try and run that many pigs to raise for that long to sell versus selling the pig food. All right, so let's just go ahead and try loading this up with pig food real quick, and I can show you what kind of price we're getting. All right, so we've got just over 50,000 liters, and I'm going to drive to my sell everything that I've got right over here, and we're going to see what kind of a price we get. Unfortunately, it doesn't show this at all in the pricing list, so you really can't see what month it sells better on. But I mean, right there, 50,000 liters gave us $214,000, so that's about a 4 times profit on the pig food. So you might as well just sell the pig food, because I don't think you're going to turn over that much profit that quickly with the pigs versus just selling that food. But if you want to run pigs, run pigs. Well, thank you all for watching. This was the Modernized Flour Mill by Adub Modding ABP team, and it is one of my absolute favorite mods. It really is. I run it on most of my playthroughs. The only time I don't is if I'm really trying to do something realistic. Thank you all for watching. Happy gaming.